We've reached a point where so many of us are just done performing, done pretending that we're okay when we're not, done moving through lives that don't feel like our own anymore. Across every corner of the world, people are finally waking up to how much of what they've built was actually shaped by expectation instead of their own truth. And the discomfort that's coming up right now is showing us the parts of ourselves that are inflamed, out of balance, and ready to be reclaimed. I think that this is where the real revolution begins because it's going to be rooted in honesty, in our willingness to really strip back the layers and meet ourselves as we are, to stop hiding behind what's familiar and finally remember who the we are. Welcome to the October energy reading. My name is Melanie Santos, and in this reading, I'm going to be sharing the cosmic energy of the month, the new and full moons, the major transits, and the messages that the universe is revealing to us right now. Let's start off by talking about the cosmic energy of this month. Now, I am recording this a week into October, and that is unapologetically because I am going through my own very uncomfortable but very necessary birth canal, rebirth canal. And I wanted to give myself the time and space to even figure out if I wanted to record this reading because on October 1st, it was a major no. And today I woke up and I said, you know what? I think that the way that I see and view the world, the messages that I receive are unique to me, and the way that I'm able to perceive and express myself about what we need, both personally and collectively, because I also offer one-on-one readings and my calendar is wide open for you if you'd like one with me. But I think they're very unique to me, and I think very humbly, y'all need this. And so here's my gift in the form of this reading. Now let's talk about the energy of the month of October. First of all, we've made it through eclipse season. As a reminder, eclipses come to disrupt but truly tear open our lives so that whatever doesn't belong anymore and needs to kind of go can be released and space can be made for what is in alignment with who we are meant to be in reality. And that can be a really, really painful process. So if you're here and you're watching this and you're alive and you're breathing and you are well, I mean, well, it's very subjective these days, but if you're watching this, thank you. And you made it. You're on the other side. Now is when things really start to kick into gear. And what I mean by that is this month we have a few things going on. We are currently, as I'm recording this, amidst the energy of a full moon in Aries, and we're also experiencing a new moon in Libra this month. So this is energy, this brings about a theme of courage versus calibration. It's very much a me and versus we type of energy, a personal and collective type of theme, which I love because this is also the last quarter of the year. We are in the energy of fall. There's so many changes that have we're in this portal of renewal and rebirth. And so, like I said in the intro, this is really where we get the opportunity to really seed new foundations and really not even seeds. I don't want you to think of seeds. I want you to think of bricks. Okay, this is where we start to lay the foundation for this new structure, new structures to come to be, both in our personal lives and in the collective, because as we all know, our collective is in shambles. This month, we're really invited to not only show up with integrity, which if you know me, you know I'm all about integrity, but really show up with intention, which if you know me, you know everything that I do is also all about intention, but really show up with intention, really show up with integrity and intention, and really put into our minds that yes, Libra is all about balance, but balance is active. Balance is active, which is not something that many people talk about. Like, to rebalance, you need to act. You need to make the decision to make small actions every single day that bring you into balance. And so that is that Aries versus Libra energy. So let's talk about, even though we just passed it, the full moon in Aries that we've just experienced, because I think it very much is influencing the entire energy of this month and this portal of renewal. So on October 6th at 11:47, I believe, p.m. Eastern time, we welcomed a full moon in Aries. Now, Aries is this cardinal sign ruled by Mars, the planet of action. And it's this energy of initiation and independence. It's the first sign of the zodiac. So it's like the baby of the zodiac. It's like starting anew. It also rules the first astrological house of like selfhood and identity and like personal stuff, very, very personal stuff, like who you are. Aries is like the I am of the zodiac. We also know from this, because you've watched this, right? My absolutely free masterclass on cosmic energy, what it means to us as cosmic beings and how we can utilize it. Link is in the description box if you want to watch it, if you want to rewatch it, it's that good. We also know that full moons are a time of culmination, when we're meant to release energy, when things come again to a culmination, to an ending. It's the ending of the moon cycle. And so this full moon being the end of, marking the end of eclipse season, this is really an energy of like self-trust after all of this eclipsing, right? After everything has come to be and come to be ripped open in our lives, we're meant to come back to a moment of self-trust and really evaluate, how have I moved in my life in ways that negated that? Again, this is like Aries versus Libra, self-trust versus like relational balance, like, and trying to gauge the difference between how have I acted in integrity and authenticity based on what I want and what I need versus how the world tells me to be, or what the world tells me to want, or what I even think the world needs from me. I've written down some reflection prompts that you can still use even though, you know, we have past the full moon time. Where have I been waiting for permission to move forward? What am I ready to take courageous responsibility for? Because I feel like this is a month of accountability. In order to rebalance, like this month of October is asking us to do, we need to hold ourselves accountable for the ways that we are out of balance to begin with, because we are the common denominators. We can try to blame the world and blame those around us until we're blue in the face, but at the end of the day, we are the common denominators. How can I assert my truth without burning bridges that still matter? Okay, and words that you can really ground into with this full moon are courage. Again, autonomy, reclamation, embodied truth, embodying who you are, what it is that you want, whether it makes others uncomfortable or not. And lastly, I want to talk about, there's so many other things going on, but I just want to focus on new and full moons in this video. The new moon in Libra that's happening on October 21st. Libra is a cardinal air sign ruled by Venus. Venus is the planet of love and beauty and pleasure and money. And so that's what Libra is all about. It also rules the 7th house of committed relationships and partnerships. We also know from this, I really want you to watch it. I worked really hard on this. But we know from that the new moon is a time to sort of like fill our plate back up. It's this moment after the eclipse of like restoration, of like setting new intentions and really creating a new fortified vision of the future for ourselves. And so I think that with this me versus we, Aries versus Libra, rebalancing energy that October is asking of us, this is a lunation that really forces us to look at, again, how we need to be an active part of our rebalancing, how rebalancing and harmonizing our lives is an act of devotion. I've been speaking so much about devotion as I've launched a devotion lab, a practice lab, where from time to time I'll be offering 7-day, 11-day, 21-day, 40-day collective practices that we can do virtually together. We completed one for Leo season into Virgo season that was all about radiance, and it really cracked us open, which is why I've sort of been off of the internet for a while. And so I'm looking forward to doing one as we go from Libra season into Scorpio season that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But Libra season, this Libra new moon, really reminds us that balance is an act of devotion. Okay, you have to really make daily decisions, make the daily decision to devote yourself to integrity, to intention, that every single moment is an intentional one. And as we do that, we show up in the world in a different way. And as we show up in the world in a different way, the world begins to change. Where all of us are asking for evolution, we're asking for change, but none of us are showing up in a different way in our own lives. If we start making decisions in new ways, showing up in new ways, maybe you need to dress in a new way to remind yourself that you're a new version of yourself. Maybe you need to get a haircut that reflects that you feel brand new. But really make decisions in different ways. show up and spend our money in different ways, show up and shop in different ways, spend our time outside of our homes in different ways, watch different things, support different types of people, the world will change. We are the true influencers. We influence change. Yes, we have all these people making laws and doing horrible things with the world, but we are the ones who really influence change. We can really move the needle. But we have to really pay attention and be really, really intentional about our daily actions. And I think that's the main reminder that this new moon in Libra really brings us is, again, balance is an act of devotion. I wrote some prompts down for you. Where am I over compromising to avoid discomfort? Big one. What relationships or dynamics feel reciprocal, give and take happening, right? And which feel draining? This is a big one because, again, Libra is relational. Libra is a relational sign. How can I create beauty and peace without bypassing the truth? Huge one. What does harmony look like when it includes my needs and not just others? Again, these are relational questions. I'm going to go back to this one where I said, how can I create beauty and peace without bypassing the truth? Because so many of us would rather create peace by doing things and showing up in ways that we don't really want to versus setting boundaries, right? And lastly, what new agreements, internal or external, feel aligned with who I've become? Big one, again, as we're shifting realities right now. Lots of spirituality people talk about shifting timelines and like quantum leaping. There's no ritual that's going to make you do that. You can pay an Etsy witch. Why have Etsy witches been so popular right now? But you can pay an Etsy witch $22.22 to like shift your life. And sure, maybe you might think, sugar pill, you might think that something is happening, but really, balance is an act of devotion. Okay, harmony is an act of devotion. You have to really devote yourself every single day to making decisions that's going to bring you there. With that, let's close out with our shift into Scorpio season on October 23rd, I believe, our shift into Scorpio season. At the end of October, we shift from Libra and all it's about that we just spoke about to really soul shifting, deeply honest Scorpio. Scorpio is a water sign ruled by Pluto, who's the planet of death and rebirth. And it really is, I want you to think of like, when you think of like the water signs, Cancer is this crab, right? That's above the water, like crawling all over the sand. I want you to think of Scorpio as like the scorpion, right? Or like this water sign that's like deep, dark waters that can traverse deep, dark waters, that's equipped to traverse deep, dark waters to reveal the truth. Okay, and I want to emphasize reveal the truth because Scorpio is right before Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the truth bearer, right? They're able to gallop on the land and take the truth and like go towards the truth. And it's because of Scorpio season, what we've like, I keep doing this on camera, what we've sort of excavated from Scorpio season. And so please prepare yourself to really dive deep and like have your bearings, keep your bearings because of the balance that you've cemented and the harmonizing routines that you've cemented in Virgo and Libra season. Again, all these signs help us. The cosmos are meant to help us. They're a map for our year. And so these are why I think these readings are so important, because they truly give us and equip us in a very short amount of time with the information that we need to truly live our most intentional month. So you're welcome. No, but really Scorpio season is so important. It really, I think, teaches us and reminds us, really, because we have Scorpio season obviously every year, but really reminds us that true healing can happen and should happen in the dark. And that if you stay long enough in these deep, dark parts of you, because we have many different parts of us. Shout out to IFS, Internal Family Systems. Look into that. That teaches us to look at ourselves as a collection of parts. There are so many different parts that make us who we are. But if we are willing to stay in the dark parts for as long as we need to, or as long as we should, we're able to come out with like the brimming truth, right? Versus just like skimming the surface. Really being with our truth long enough to understand and remember who we are. Being that this is a time to really release who we are when we perform, right? to stop performing ourselves and really just be ourselves. This season of Scorpio really reveals the truth beneath our performances. Who are we really? What do we really want? How do we really want to show up in the world? Even and especially if that means a shift in identity, a shift in career, a shift in relationships, a shift in how you live, how you eat, how you move, how you breathe, who you vote for. And it's like the universe giving us permission, telling us that it's okay to change and what anybody else thinks, to show up and be weird. We've talked about being unique and being weird month after month. I think it started showing up in August, but really showing up in like what people think. Everybody's confused right now. Every single person. I don't care if you think that, I know exactly who I am. Just wait. Just wait, because I think the entire world is going through this collective season of death and rebirth. So just allow it. The sooner that you allow it, the sooner that you can meet yourself on the other side. Scorpio will ask you, what truth am I ready to face, no matter how uncomfortable it feels? Where am I being asked to surrender control so real transformation can take place? Is a big one. This is a time to release control. And how can I use my emotional depth as medicine instead of armor? Right? Because there are parts of us that want to protect ourselves from the world, which is normal and natural. And so many of those versions of us were built during traumatic seasons of our life. But how can we use that and use them as medicine? Speak to them versus allow them to be an armor in the world, so we're not kept from these experiences that may transform us just because we're afraid. So all in all, October is huge. Okay, this full moon in Aries reminds us that true freedom and liberation and rebalancing starts with self-honesty and starts with really holding ourselves accountable for how we are stopping ourselves so that we can go forward in true Aries fashion. I really want us to pay attention to how we're seeing this reflected on the world stage, right? How systems of deception and corruption have been in play for so long that we sort of just succumb to what's going on, and really taking a moment to be honest with ourselves about how we are complicit in keeping them going, right? And what decisions we can make, how we can be devoted to, again, new moon in Libra, devoted to making decisions every single day that move the needle so that we can truly feel and experience personal and collective liberation. We are definitely seeing this in the world stage in many different ways, especially for those of us in the US. And for those of you who are international, please let me know if you're watching this in another country other than the US. I'm in New York City. But we're seeing this on the world stage in huge ways. We are in year 2 of a US-funded genocide in Gaza. Right? We're seeing how Israel has its hand in every single pot. We're seeing how the international countries are standing up for us and protesting in ways that we cannot. And I want to thank you if you are in another country and you're doing that for us in the US. But we're seeing this play out on the world stage in many different ways. And it's just a mirror for the ways that it's playing out in your own life. So I really want you to take the time to examine, to feel safe, to dive into the deep waters of yourself and really pull apart the parts of yourself that really hold truth, the diamond in the rough, right? So I really want you to spend time with yourself and remember that liberation is rarely graceful. I'm coming to you and telling you this from a point in my life where I am not living through graceful times, and I'm showing up bravely at a time where I am parsing through my own truth and really letting go of all the ways that I perform myself, perform my passion, perform my talents, when I just need to show up as me and fuck what anybody else thinks. And so I hope that I inspire you, honking for emphasis, thank you. I hope that I inspire you to do the same this month. With that, let's get into the oracle card reading. We're going to start off with the not that deck. I want to start off with the Goddess Guidance Oracle deck. I have a thing where I have to start off every reading with this deck. It was my first Oracle deck ever, and it's just, I don't know, it's a thing that I have. It's a ritual. Let's see what the guidance is for this month of October from Spirit for the collective for the month of October 2025. Okay, there's going to be many moments where I giggle because I simply cannot make this shit up. I do want to also say, as this card comes up, is that I also channel the spirit of my ancestors and my spirit guides, and I always ask them for, is there anything else that you want me to share in this reading for the collective that you think is important? And they said no, but they did say, and it's funny because this came up in a personal reading that I did for myself for this month as well, is that take everything literally. Take every message that I share in this reading literally. Like, things very much will be what they are this month. There's no alternate message in it. It's like, no, did you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth, the stereo, the street? Like, things will show up as you need to understand them. Okay. And the first card is the goddess Mawu, Mother Earth. So as we were just talking about, again, collective well-being and how we are making decisions for a better world, we got the card from the goddess Mawu, Mother Earth. You are called upon to help with environmentalism. And this card is less about like, yes, the world is fucking burning. I saw a video yesterday on TikTok that's like, why is it so hot in October? Because you keep making little pictures with ChatGPT. You keep like making ChatGPT make you into cartoons, make you into the Lizzie McGuire character, or make you into a Simpson. Every time you use ChatGPT, a tree burns down. And that's not literally the case, but these AI systems that are literally everywhere, asking us to play with them because people make more money when we do, are being cooled by water that's being taken from our reservoirs and water that's being taken from the earth where we need it. And so we could very well run out of water at some point. It's raining as I do this reading, and I literally said, thank you, God, for the rain, because we need water. Shit is really scary right now. So please, this is about environmentalism, and please take care of your resources and be as sustainable as possible. We have so many resources now to be sustainable, reusable everything. If you're going to use plastic bags, like, reuse them. I am a tote bag girly. I got, like, I kid you not, probably like 40 tote bags that I've been reusing for years, because why not, right? They're everywhere. But please be sustainable. Be sustainable as possible when it comes to the environment. But I think this is also, again, relating back to making decisions that take into account the collective, take into account, like, if I spend this money with this company, with this big box company, am I going to be supporting the needs of my community? Probably not. But if I go around the corner, if I walk out of my house, if I have the ability to walk out of my house, because not everybody does, walk out of my house and go around the street to the corner store, am I going to be supporting this small business? Yes. So let me do that instead. I am not somebody that's going to be like, stop shopping on this and that. And like, people are like, oh, you shouldn't be shopping on Amazon. Listen, as somebody who has people in her immediate family who are disabled and not able to, like I just said, go out and go around the corner, these systems can be helpful in these cases. And sometimes, they are not a luxury, they are a necessity to many, but so many people use them frivolously. Like, I'm tired of seeing the like Amazon must-haves video on every single social media platform, because like, no, you don't need that. You don't need that little trinket that's going to make your life easier. You are able-bodied, you're cool, you're good. You don't need that thing, right? And so making small decisions that are going to impact your individual well-being and the collective well-being of the earth are a focus this month of October, like I mentioned earlier, and like it is coming up now in this card. Okay, with that, I want to move forward with the Work Your Light Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell and see what our next reminder is for the collective for October 2025. Okay, we had a card flip over in the deck. Okay, so we got a collective card, right? Our next card is a personal card. Inner Temple. Inner Temple. I just want you to look at the imagery and see if anything resonates, but also just pay attention to the messages that are coming up from the artwork. I think is always very important. Inner Temple, devotion. Can't make it up. Devotion. Tune into the portal of your heart. Balance is an act of devotion. Please write that down somewhere. Put it on your home screen. Maybe I'll make I used to do this back in the day. Maybe I'll do it for when I send this as a newsletter for my email community. If you're not signed up for my emails, please do. This is the URL. But I used to create screensavers and images that people can post in their stories based on like what the message was for the month. And like maybe I'll make one that says balance is an act of devotion. Balance is a daily act of devotion. Balance is an act of daily devotion. All these different versions of the truth. This is the truth. Balance is an act of daily devotion. You can't just do something once and expect something to happen. And I think that's a falsity. It's a lie that's being perpetuated, especially as we're being offered so many different ways to cut corners with AI. Things like GLP-1s are coming to mind for people who don't need them. Again, I have people who are disabled in my family who need things like Ozempic to live. And I see just people abusing it on social media. Like we're being offered so many ways to cut corners. And while I am truly like a tech girl, like give me all the shortcuts and all the innovations, not shortcuts, excuse me, give me all the innovations so that my life is easier, so that I can do things easier, so that I can bring my messages to the world in an easier way, so that, you know, that don't harm the environment, that don't harm the collective, and that don't put me, because if it harms the collective, it's going to be harming me, baby. If it harms the earth, it's harming me. If it harms the earth, it harms you. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words. So much information coming through. But if it harms the earth, it harms you. Because who holds us? Who's our first mother? The earth is our first mother. If we don't take care of our mother, who's going to take care of us? Okay? And so I say all that to say, devotion, inner temple, be very intentional about how you show up for yourself this month. And how you show up, period, is how you show up for yourself. What you eat is how you show up for yourself. How you hydrate is how you show up for yourself. How you speak is how you show up in the world. And ultimately, how you show up for yourself. Because you saying something and showing up in a certain way can open doors, or it can slam them. It can offer you new opportunities, or it can slam them. How you show up in the world can connect you with the resources and the people and the relationships that you need to get that new job, to meet the person of your dreams, right? We're all meant to experience those types of pleasures. Like, yes, this is a 3D world, so we got to play by 3D rules. I'm not going to be all here like, higher dimensions in 6D. No, we're very much living in the 3D. We're very much living a human experience. So you have to be very intentional about how you move your human pieces in the world, in this game of life. Make decisions that are intentional, because it will inevitably affect you. Be very careful of how you speak to others, but also be very careful about how you speak to yourself, because it's very much like how you think and what you speak is creating your reality. These are all known things. Yes, I'm kind of repeating things that we might all know, but this is a really huge, like, it's very loud right now, echoing in my mind. Be very, very conscious of what you say about yourself in the public and to yourself. What you believe will come to be. And this is kind of why my guides were like, it is what it is. Like, if you say you're not going to get something, you're not going to get it. If you say, I'm sick, I have this, you will be sick and you will have that, right? If you start to say, now don't try to play around and be like, oh, well, I'm a millionaire. You can. Maybe you are a master manifester and it really is in your path to be a millionaire that quickly, just like that. But really be intentional. Again, balance and harmony and pleasure, all the things that have to do with Libra, because it's not just balance, but also pleasure. I try to remind us in every single reading that we are here to experience pleasure and that we're doing a terrible job at it as a collective, that we are here to experience pleasure and we're doing a terrible job at actualizing a life of pleasure as a collective. But we are worthy of it. And so balance and harmony and pleasure are an act of daily devotion. Okay, are an act of daily devotion. And that relates to our inner temple. How we show up for ourselves is how we will show up in the world. If you're so concerned with like what's going on in the world, great. Don't abandon yourself. We need you. We need you. I've seen so much, especially in the last 2 years, as we are all like grieving through this genocide in Gaza, how people are abandoning themselves. because they think it's like, I shouldn't eat well because the kids aren't eating. If they're starving, then I'm going to starve too. What's the point of that? How are you going to have the capacity to show up if you do not offer yourself what you need, rest and resources, and take care of your inner temple? You need this to show up for this. Okay? Let's move forward with the Infinite Wisdom of the Chakras deck. Putting all these decks up to the camera, so if you want to purchase them for yourself, you can. I love them. Let's see what our third message is for the collective for October 2025. Okay, we had a card jump out of the deck. And it is the card 22. Funny that I was joking about Etsy witches and paying $22.22. The card is number 22, Divine Flow Confidence. Let go of doubt and move forward confidently. This is giving me Aries energy for sure. Beautiful yoga pose. Just paying attention to the imagery here, but this is giving me Aries energy, divine flow, confidence. This is directly relating to our solar plexus chakra. Our solar plexus chakra. If I think about, I don't know if they are, I'm sure there are connections between our energy centers and the zodiac. But when I think about what zodiac best matches with our particular energy centers, it's Aries and the solar plexus, sirens for emphasis. Because the solar plexus, when we talk about the solar plexus, which is in our belly button region, our navel chakra, it is directly related to our confidence, right? Our self-worth, our will, our drive. That's Aries energy. Okay, so in this season, or in this week, especially if you're watching this at the beginning of October, which thank you if you are, let go of doubt and move forward confidently. Let go of this need to please. This is very much a people-pleasing that energy. Like, stop the people pleasing. We all have a people pleaser within us. I know that some people appear to be very like, I don't care, I don't care. The people who say they don't care are the people who care the most usually. This is coming from a Cancer rising. We love to say we don't care, and we are deeply empathetic and we deeply care. And like, we care so much that we end up not caring. Cancer risings will understand what that means. But letting go of the ways that you showed up for the collective because, or showed up for your community, or showed up for your people or your relationships because you wanted to bring harmony, even though you were disharmonizing your relationship with yourself, are so important. Like, again, this month is about starting anew, building new foundations, really devoting yourself to balance and harmony. And the only ways that you can rebalance are by letting go of, I'm mad bright right now, but by letting go of the ways that you created disharmony within yourself by showing up for others. The way that you said yes to others because you said no to yourself. Like, that needs to stop. That needs to stop. That needs to stop. Like, you'll have the confidence by letting go of the ways that you did not honor your self-temple, your inner temple, right? To show up for the world. It's not honorable of you. There's no award for it, okay? This is, again, coming from someone who, this is a lot of what I've been personally reckoning with lately. For many reasons. As a woman, I do that, right? As a Latina, I do that, right? Somebody from the Caribbean community, we do that. We're taught to appease. We're taught to show up in ways that like are impossible simply because of fear of judgment. And it's all bullshit. And this is how the revolution really starts. And I am experiencing this in my own life. I'm experiencing it in my experience as a mother, where not only am I remembering these truths and really integrating them and starting to embody them, but I'm having to teach them to my daughter as well, who turns 8 years old this month, my little Libra. But I'm having to teach her these truths as well so that she won't have to remember them down the line. This is something that every year I go through a season, and I think, again, the decolonization of our minds, the deconstructing of things that are not true to us happens in phases, and it feels like I'm in one of my final phases. Many of us are, and I think I'm a huge mirror for the collective. It's part of why I'm here. and why I'm here to do what I'm here to do, but allow this message to be mirrored through my own life and my own experiences, that things happen in phases. The deconstruction of, again, the things that are not true and don't belong to us happens in phases. And I personally feel I'm in one of the last phases, ending phases of unlearning people pleasing. It's not that I'm never going to people please again. I'm sure it'll happen and I'll go through another season of remembering, but we don't have to say no to ourselves in order for the world to say yes to us. We really need to stop making decisions and showing up in ways that affirm our lack. Like, I'm going to show up in this way because I feel like I really need to. When you need something, you're telling your body and your system and your cells that you are in a position of lack. You're telling your body and your system and your cells that you are unsafe. And that is not true. So you're feeding yourself lies, essentially. And so you showing up, you letting go of doubt and moving forward confidently is a way that you show up for your inner temple. Okay, so you doing this is a way that you show up for yourself. All right, is a way that you are devoted to yourself, and is a way that you care for the world. There's so much talk about like collective liberation. This is how it happens, through your own liberation. It happens through you. The liberation and the revolution will not be televised because it's going to happen through the people. You have to allow it to happen. You have to allow it to happen. Allow it to happen through you. Not because of you, but through you. Let it happen through you. And honor what is coming through you too. I don't know why both my eyebrows are itchy at the same time. That was weird. But let it happen through you. Honor what wants to come through you. The expressions that want to come through you, the conversations, the art, the movement, the honor what needs to and wants to happen through you. Even if you were taught that it's inappropriate, that it's not right for you, that we don't do that. Bullshit. You being devoted, I'm not going to pull up the card because you get it, right? But you being devoted to saying yes to yourself where you've been taught to say no as well is an act of revolution. That's how you play your part in saving the world and in liberating the world, because one little puzzle piece, one little domino, you are a domino piece in this beautiful, what's the name for that? When they line up all the domino pieces and it knocks each other down. But you shifting that one domino piece can change everything. Do you see that? It shifts everything. And so please give yourself the gift of authenticity. It's uncomfortable as fuck. Please allow me to share that with you as I'm in this season of discomfort and why I've been offline and ignoring people. Thank you to my friends who have been giving me space, and my family who have been giving me space to like unfurl. But that unfurling is very painful. This cocoon phase is not fun. One of the things that I learned through my artist residency last year is the true stages of the butterfly. That we romanticize the cocoon stage, and it's not fun at all. Actually, when a butterfly goes into a caterpillar goes into its cocoon phase, it disintegrates into goo. It's literally just like a sticky substance, and then starts to form into a butterfly. And imagine how painful that process is. Imagine how painful it must be, and also how liberating it must be to finally unfurl your wings and fly. Oh man, I hope I've offered you enough imagery to get up and do what you need to do for yourself in this life. I'm going to end with the When Olga Speaks deck, which was created especially by one of our community members, Sasha Lopez, which was a limited edition deck in memory of her grandmother, Olga Miranda Fernandez, who passed away in October of 2014. So we honor her. Thank you, Olga, for inspiring Sasha to create this deck. And I've been loving it. It's a gorgeous deck with gorgeous images. So I'm going to pull our final message from this deck for the collective for October 2025. Okay. Jesus Christ. We had a lot of cards jump out of the deck. Let me see if I'm meant to speak to all of them or if I'm just clumsy. Okay, I'm going to try my best to speak to all of them, and I'm going to show you each of them first. Literally 5 cards. 5 is a number of change. So I'm going to honor the fact that 5 cards just jumped out of the deck. Told you this deck is powerful, okay? First card that jumped out was Offering. This is an ancestral card, Offering. Okay, maybe I'll go through what messages are immediately coming up, offering ancestral, the fact that we don't have to do this alone. We need to lean on our spiritual practices. And also the fact that our daily decisions and our daily devotion to bring balance and pleasure and goodness to the world is an offering to ourselves and to the world. Okay. The next card was recharge and our rest. How necessary it is to rest and resource yourself so that you can continue the fight for liberation for yourself and for the collective. Right. And I know that maybe this is coming up, that some of you guys tune out when somebody says the word liberation. It's not just a me thing, so I'm not going to take it personally, but you tune out when somebody says the word liberation. Why? You need to ask yourself why. This is not a social justice thing. This is a world thing. This is a life thing. I'm not a social justice warrior. I never have been. I have always been a person of the people and helping people to uncover the gifts so that they can help awaken themselves and in turn awaken their communities and the world. And so ask yourself that question. But in all of this, we need to rest and recharge. I'm telling you, these are gorgeous cards. Synergy. Our ability to live in synergy, again, harmony, community, balance, these are all synergy words, is based on rest, how we're able to offer ourselves to the world. Unconscious reality, a mirroring and an echoing of what I said, like how we speak to ourselves and how we show up for ourselves is how we show up in the world. We've really got to pay attention to what's happening in our unconscious reality, right? What is happening in here? What's happening in here? How do we speak to ourselves? What's happening in our daily thoughts? Because that's what's influencing our daily actions. Also paying attention to our dreams. If you're somebody who dreams prophetically, I am, and my dreams have been pretty crazy lately. But our dreams, I think, have not been, I think what's happening in the collective right now, if your dreams have been extra weird, they're not pointing us so much to like the truth of what's happening outside of us, but what's happening inside our unconscious reality, pointing us to truths that we really need to take care of. I think that's especially going to happen during Scorpio season. So pay attention to that after October 21st. And then memories. Memories can be really powerful. I think this card is specifically not just pointing to memories, but the ability to look at the past as an instrument in our journey towards peace, balance, liberation, right? Being able to look at the past. There are so many people who will tell you, let go of the past. Yes, you must refine your ability to let go of the past and also be able to look at it as medicine and as an instrument in your journey to liberation, okay? This is crazy. Mad cards. I'll show them to you again. Offering, recharge. You already know what you got to do. Women, lots of women watch these readings. You need more sleep than men. You need more than 8 hours. Prioritize that. Synergy. Again, not giving yourself up, but synergizing. Being able to do it together. It's a give and take. If I can't show up, fulanita can show up. If she can't show up, fulanito can show up. Right? Give and take. I don't got the capacity right now, but I got you next week, right? Synergy. At least this is the way that it's coming up for me. Unconscious reality. Paying attention to our unconscious reality and how it's manifesting in our conscious reality. There's also a reminder to like meditate. Our answers about what's happening here, we have them already. And so work with somebody that's able to help you uncover what they mean, like in a one-on-one reading with me, which is a lot of the work that we do. We look at the unconscious reality within us, right? What's happening within our energetic centers, what's happening in the subconscious, in our minds, what's happening in our past that is influencing our present so that we can get to a future that we want is so much of what we do in an alignment session. So I invite you to book one. And lastly, memories. And refining our ability to let go of the past while still being able to view it as a form of medicine. What a reading. Thank you for being here with me and for listening in. I wish you the best, October. I truly do. It's a month of truly remembering. It's a month of refining. It's a month of being real with ourselves, even if it's like really embarrassing. This month feels like a public humiliation ritual, truly, that the universe is having us go through. And that's just the human in me, the way that the human in me is perceiving it, the way that the higher self in me is perceiving it, the priestess in me is perceiving it, is this is necessary. This is a necessary step in moving forward, because it's an uncringifying month. It's like, say what you gotta say, baby. Wear what you want to wear. Cut your hair off if you've been told that like only long hair is like beautiful. That, shave it off. Coming from somebody who's been bald, done it, been there, you name it. The reason why I'm able to speak life into these themes is because I have been through them. Point blank. I'm not saying I'm the most evolved and the most perfect, because I'm far from it, but I have been through them. I am going through them right now. Okay, it's the reason why I really try to honor the call to do these readings, because I know the energy, because I'm going through it. I am a mirror for it. And so I hope that you hear me. If you didn't watch it over, take some notes, write down some of the reflection prompts and work through it. Massage, let it be massaged through your life. But I truly wish you the best October. Sorry that this video is so bright. It was raining and like the sun is shining through the clouds. I don't know what's happening, but I look really blown out. I'm giving Wednesday Addams. It is what it is. October, oh my God, I didn't even talk about like Halloween, Samhain, Dia de los Muertos, All Souls Day. Like if you celebrate any of that, I hope it's beautiful. Really be intentional about how you celebrate these things. Be safe. If you're gonna drink alcohol, drink your water. I am a responsibility.org ambassador, so I'm very much about that. Take care of yourself this month. Please take care of yourself. Have as many moments of joy as you can. Joy is also very much a resource and a way of resting. And I wish you the absolute best. I will see you for our November energy reading.